Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just got back from watching the new Bumblebee movie. Now, I think many would agree that Michael Bay is a terrible director. Not only does he make films that insult the intelligence of basically everyone watching them, but he gets so caught up in creating over-the-top action scenes for the sake of it, and creating characters who are so annoying and so offensive on so many levels that it makes his films unbearable to watch. Which is why I was very surprised and very happy to see that this Transformers prequel would be done by a much better director, Travis Knight, and do away with a lot of the things that made the Transformers movies so god awful. No more blatant product placement, no more unbearable lowbrow comedy, and female characters that are, actual characters that actually contribute to the story. So, to say that this is completely unlike the Transformers movies of the past is pretty much a godsend, because this is actually a good movie for once, that respects the Transformers license while also working as a fun 80s action adventure in its own right. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story takes place in 1987, where Bumblebee, after escaping Cybertron, has to go to Earth in order to create a base for the Autobots while they try to retake their home. And on the way, he meets a 18-year-old girl named Charlie who's trying to get over the loss of her father while also trying to get a car. So when she finds him, as in the at her local auto shop, the two form a close relationship, as that's all I'm able to say about the story without spoiling anything. But one of the best things about the film is how well it handles its central relationship between Charlie and Bumblebee. You really get the sense that they're good friends, as it's sort of like an owner and her dog. The two of them share many great emotional moments together. There's a lot of scenes where it relies on music and on great acting from Haley Steinfeld in order to get across these different dramatic scenes. And Bumblebee, despite not being able to talk for a majority of the film, manages to get a lot of emotion through him just based on the way that he's animated. It helps that his character design, as well as the designs of all the Autobots and Decepticons in the movie, are closer to the 1980s cartoon designs rather than the Michael Bay designs, making them a lot more distinctive and a lot easier to feel sorry for. Not to mention, the action scenes are also distinctly non-Michael Bay, as they aren't filled with excessive slow-mo, and you can actually tell what's going on during the scenes. I cannot tell you how glad I am to tell you that things aren't too close, so you can't see most of the action, so cluttered to the point where you can't see most of the action, or filled with so many blatant product placements that you can't focus on the action. Here you can actually focus on it, and it's pretty explosive and fun to see. And thankfully, the action scenes are only secondary to the story that it's telling, so they don't feel like a distraction. It is true that this film does take certain plot points from other films of its types, like E.T. and Earth to Echo, but it happens to rework them in a way that makes sense with the characters given, and it does mean that Charlie, our main protagonist, is given some great character development. Unlike the female characters of Michael Bay's movies, that are either bland sex objects or just clearly there, or who are just there for, eye candy for the main leads, Charlie here is an actual character with good motivations, great emotional range, and a satisfying arc, making her easily the best human protagonist in the story. And yes, there's a lot of focus on the humans this time around as well, but there's also more focus given to the Transformers and Cybertron. Heck, the two Decepticon villains in the film, neither of them are Megatron, but both of them are fun to watch as well. So, to put it simply, the Bumblebee movie is a lot lower in scale and a lot less explosive, but what we get is a much more intimate, dramatic, and more fun film that respects the Transformers while also just being a great movie in its own right. And if this is how they want to reboot the series, I want Travis Knight to stay on board for every Transformers movie from now on, honestly. I give Bumblebee a 9 out of 10. See you next time.